Hello, Silaholics, and welcome to Silaholics Anonymous. I am Shakia, the professor. If this is your first time here, hopefully you enjoy the contents of this video and will choose to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you are notified whenever I release new content. If you are a subscriber, thank you for the support and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the how to properly download and use SVG and DXF files and explain the differences between them and how you would set them up for your projects. I am going to use a Disney file that was sent to me to figure out, and I end up going to purchase the file so that I can do this demonstration for you guys. So once you purchase your file, if it is a file that comes with a lot of different formats, it is going to be a zipped file and you must extract that. So once you go and find that on your computer, it will most likely be in your downloads folder. You'll open that up. You'll get a screen that looks like this. This is from a Windows PC perspective. If you are a Mac user, in the program, everything will be the same, but you guys may have different steps as far as downloading and extracting your images. Hopefully you are familiar with how to do that with your Mac. If not, I would recommend searching YouTube for a video that breaks down how to download and extract files. But for a PC, you're going to hit extract all, and you're going to tell the system where you want it to be saved to. It does not have to go back to your downloads. Saving it in a location here helps with organizing your files. So if you want to organize it before and not have to go back, you can always go to Browse and then choose a folder or a location where you want it to be saved to. I'm just going to choose my Academy one because I'm teaching. So I'm just going to go select folder. And you want to, of course, have it checked to show extracted files when completed. If you want to create a folder, I'm going to go back to Browse. So let's say I'm in here and I want to create a folder for any of my downloads. So I'm going to create folder, and let's say I made that one Etsy. And then I'm going to double click on that to open up that Etsy folder. And I may choose to make another folder that says Disney. So now anything that I go and I get from Etsy or any places like that that has Disney on it, I can save it to this folder and I will know that everything is here. So I'm just going to go select folder. So it puts it here, my Z drive, Etsy Disney, show extracted when completed, and I'm just going to go extract. Once it's extracted, you will see the actual ones that you can click on. You'll notice in the zip file, you'll see DXF, EPS, PNG, SVGs for this one, but you cannot click on any of those or open them in any programs. I am, of course, showing you from Silhouette Studio, but it will be the same steps if you are using Cricut Design Space, Illustrator, Affinity Designer, any of those programs. You will need to extract the file first. Once you have it extracted, the file will look pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is you won't see anything in the top that says extract all or unzip, depending on how your program is set up. Dxf files can be opened in the basic version of Silhouette Studio. It is a vector file. It will be ready to cut. However, all of the colors and things will not be filled in. Things will not be made into a compound path or anything like that. EPS files are also vector files that can be opened up in Illustrator, Corel Draw, Affinity Designer. They cannot be opened up in Silhouette Studio unless you have Business Edition. With PNG files, they will also open up in the free version, Designer, Designer Plus, or Business, but you will have to trace it in order to get your cut lines to cut from vinyl, paper, adhesive vinyl, whatever it is that you want, however you want to use it. Now, if you're going to just use it for print purposes, you're able to just upload that and then size it and print it out. Unless you want to change any of the colors on it, then you will have to trace it to be able to isolate the sections to be able to change the colors. An SVG file is a vector file that's ready to cut or ready to modify. The DXF and EPS are also ready to modify, meaning you can change the colors of elements. With that one, you do have to have at least Designer Edition in order to open up an SVG file. I'm going to focus on just DXF and SVG in this tutorial and show you the differences between the two. So let's start with our DXF files. I'm going to go ahead and drag. So if you just click it, it's just going to open it up, or it may ask you where you want to open it. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Studio. With SVG files, if you click on them, a lot of times it may not ask you where you want to open it. It will open up as if it is a web browser file and just show you the file. So here is the Mickey version of this. We're going to put this off to the side. The proper, I'm going to say proper, but the other way to be able to open it up in Silhouette Studio, and the way that I recommend that you do it, is to actually open it from inside the program. If it is a new file that you are opening up, you would go File, Open, and then you'll look for that file in the location where you saved it in. Because I want to have all of mine on this screen, I'm going to go to Merge. I'm going to search the Academy, and then we're going to go to Etsy, Disney, DXF, and I'm going to open up the other one, which is the Minnie Mouse file. I'm going to move this off to the side. Well, I can move it over here. Now I'm going to go File, Merge. I'm going to go back to Disney, go to SVG, click on the Mickey file. You can already see the difference in that this is filled with color. One more time, File, Merge. I'm going to bring in the Minnie file. All right, now I have both my SVG and my DXF files on screen. The DXF files will not come with color. They also will not be set up where everything is like made into a compound path. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to fill it with color. What you don't want to do, even though you see black here, and when you looked at the preview of the file, it should be black. You don't want to fill this in with black because the outlines are black. So you're not going to see those individual areas. Fill it in with a color that's lighter so that you'll be able to see the different lines on it. So I'm just going to choose a yellow. Down here, because it's the mini one, let's just choose a pink. Oops, I still had one of these selected, but that's fine. So you can see the difference in how these are set up. So here, when you look at the Disney, this is a cutout so that, you can see that it's a D. Same thing with the Y, the parts of the S. On this one, you don't see that. That cutout is not there. It is a shape. This is where compound path is used. You're going to drag and select over the word Disney and its inside elements. Try not to go down too far to where you are selecting the rest of the image. So all you want to do is drag and select, and you may have little boxes depending on how yours is set up. You may also have a bunch of little boxes that have green circles on them. It's still the same. It's just a matter of preferences. I have a video on preferences. You can check that out if you want to adjust yours to have it look like my screen. You're then going to right click and make it a compound path. As you can see, those inside parts, or those cavities, cut out. I can now go and change this to black because it's supposed to be black, and then I'll remove the line color, but most times I just remove the line color all at the end. If you would like to turn your image, you can, because I wasn't sure why he was crawling up the one. So we can do that. You can select like all of this area in here and reposition it if you would like to kind of center it. So you can move it around. On the family vacation, we are going to do the same thing we did up here. You can choose to do it all together, or you can do word by word, or you can do letter for letter if you want each letter to be an individual color. If you're wanting to do just the whole word and for it to all be one color, you would select the entire word. up here, it's not selected. So I'm going to hold down Shift, click on that little piece there, let go of Shift, right click and make it a compound path. It's actually a good thing that Y was still selected and it's pink, because you're going to see what happens when you make it a compound path. Everything becomes one color. You cannot have individual colors once you make something a compound path. If you're wanting to make this where it has individual colors for each one, for each letter, the A has an internal part. You would have to select the A and its middle section and make that a compound path. So we're going to do that for each one of these. Now I'm using keyboard shortcuts. It's going to make this go a little bit faster. I selected it and I use Control E, Command E on a Mac. Now these are all individual letters, but they have their cavities cut away. And if you were to fill them with color, they would all stay in those individual colors. And if you want to group them together after you make them all individual colors, you have to, or you want it to be all one, you select it and you group. Do not make it a compound path. So I'm just going to select all of this based off the original, and I'm going to make it black. We're also going to select the mini and the 2, hold down Shift, drag from this way, select the Mickey, the 1 and the 2, and I'm going to make those black. Now if we focus in on this area, we're going to click on the top portion here, here, and I believe the outside part here should all be black. Okay. The gloves have these little accents in it. You can fill those with black, especially if you're printing. It's not going to make that big of a difference. But if you are cutting from vinyl, since the outline is black, you want that part to show through the glove, which we're going to make white. So you're going to hold down Shift, select all of the gloves and the accents. So I'm not saying all of, both of the gloves and all of the accents. And we're going to make it a compound path. That way they're already grouped together. As you see now, they're no longer yellow. You see the background. So if I change this to a different color, that accent in the middle, you know, it'll be that same color from the background. So I'm going to click on my gloves and make them white. And then for the shoes, we're going to click on the parts here. And I believe that on the original is a red. And then we can group that together or make it a compound path. In this case, it'll operate exactly the same. Same thing with the shoes. And we're just going to change the color on those. Now, this is set up just like the SVG. With the SVG, all you'll have to do, like if you want to separate it or move anything around, what you'll do is right-click and ungroup. Disney, and this is not always the case because some designers, they may have had it when you ungrouped, each letter will now be separated. But with this one, Disney is connected. The word family is one path. Vacation is one, this mini. So each one of these is its own like separate entity. Your shoes, they're grouped together. Now this one, they do have it cut out. I am not one where I prefer, like I like to have that because when you go to heat it up with smooth vinyl, you can end up with gaps where you'll see the shirt in between those areas. I am not one where I particularly cut away. I will layer it right on top. It does not affect it if you layer it right on top. The way that the DXF is set up, it is layered right on top. Oh, actually they had 2 here. So let's not, so I'm glad I did look at that. I'm going to send this to the back. They had another piece here. There was really no need for that. So we're going to delete and delete. And let's make sure, oh, we had another one there as well. So let's go ahead and send that to the back. Then click on our black. Well, let's delete these. So hold down Shift and delete. And then click on the black section and send that to the back. And we also have Houston, we have a problem here with how this is set up. So let's zoom in. And I'm going to delete those. I'm not sure where these little straggly pieces came from. And a lot of the times when you see like your machine is cutting in like weird areas, if you're not paying attention to the way the file is set up, you'll find that, you have some little straggly areas that you just didn't pay attention to, or you didn't realize they were there if you didn't move things around. That's why it is really important to fill things in with color. Had I not filled it in with color and it was just the outline and it was no color, I would not have noticed that there was an additional shoe, an additional, I guess like inside of the shoe there. All right, we're going to click on the shoes, hold down Shift, click on the black, and send them both to the back so that I can now see the red. As you'll see, this is solid. What they did to create that, if you want to have it that way, is to select the shoe, the black outline, and the inside of the shoe. Go over to modify and subtract all. Looks like nothing's changed, but now it looks just like the other one. I personally prefer not to set mine up that way, but that is a personal preference. And then it's just a matter of how it cuts out. If you do not want yours that way, you could always select this, release compound path, and then weld it. So let's click off. There's a lot here. Okay, we're just going to weld this together. And then we welded away all of those little pieces. So we go now, that part is solid. And then with this one on top of black, you can leave the cavity there so that you know exactly where to put it. Or you can release compound path and then just hit weld. And that's going to weld that inner piece in the shoe. So now this looks exactly like my other one in that it's solid pieces. So there are like a lot of different steps. It's a lot to learn with Silhouette Studio. Hopefully this video is helping you get a better understanding, but I do have a full comprehensive course called Essentials to Silhouette Studio, which will break down a lot of these concepts and help you understand how files are set up and how to create your own files and your own designs. So visit academy.silaholicsanonymous.com if you are interested in that course. The direct link for it will be in the description box. Now, the way this was set up, they do have this one, they don't have it there. So that's good. We're going to undo. So they do have it where the white already has the cutout. So you don't have to worry about that. We just had to worry about the shoe. Now, everything else can be cut and resized. So you can group it together or just highlight it all, resize it to the size that you need, big, small. If you want to reposition anything, you can do that. Move this over. If you want to center it all, select everything that's in the middle and group it together. Select the words family and vacation, group those together. Then select all three sections, go up to your alignment and center them. Ooh, let's go back. We did not have the top of Mickey a part of this group. Now we can align this. And see, that looks kind of funky there. So you have to be mindful when using the alignment tool. It may just be a matter of placing it. And it's because, I really think it's because this Mickey is weirdly positioned here. And then Minnie is kind of small. So be aware of that when you're choosing files and when you're setting up and resizing your files. So down here, I'm going to go through this one a little bit faster than I went through the other one. You can always go back up to the top where it is slowed down and pause it if needed to, get these things accomplished with the file that you are using. But I'm going to go through this a little bit faster so you can see that in real time, it doesn't take that long to set up a DXF file. However, SVG is always going to be the easiest, and you will need Designer Edition to open that. You can upgrade directly from the free version to Designer or go from the free version to Business Edition. The links for those are also in the description box. They are affiliate links. I will receive a small commission if you choose to go to purchase it by using the link. It will be no difference in the cost to you. All right, so let's go through this DXF file and set it up. I'm going to drag and select over the word Disney. I can't be inside of the Y without touching the bow, so hold down Shift, select there, make it a compound path, and make that black. I'm going to come down here to the word family, hold down Shift, select that inner part. I still have Shift held down while I drag and select the letters over here that I missed. Right click and make it a compound path. I'm going to make that black. Same thing with the word vacation. Make that black. And then here it gets a little tricky because I know that I should see the parts of her shoe, but I don't see those. So you're going to click on it, right click, and you can send it to the back. Then you'll start to see other lines. This particular file is set up. I'm not sure why it has this little cut here. For me, it kind of drove me crazy looking at that one when I opened it earlier. I'm just going to take a shape and just cover that up. And then weld it. I have other videos that really explain that. I'm going to send it to the back again. It doesn't affect the shoe, but there are a lot of other lines here. For me, this particular file was not ideally set up. And if you want to just really learn how to identify if files are ideally set up, I really would recommend that you look on our Academy site, academy.silaholics.com, and look into enrolling in either our master's program or doctor's program, where I am teaching the why of graphic designing and teaching graphic designing via Silhouette Studio. So here we're just going to change the color of the shoe. And then on this one, there's two of them here. Not sure why they have two sets on all of these files, but they do. And let's see. Yep, same thing with the bow. So for the bow, I'm just going to hold down Shift. Well, click on the first one, hold down Shift, and click on that top layer, and then just delete. If you leave those there, it's going to create additional cuts, and it's going to be very hard to weed it because it's going to have these really, really thin cuts, and you're going to think that you did something wrong, and it was just the way that the file was set up. So we're going to make that red, and we're going to group that together. Here on the hands, we are missing the little accent pieces for the gloves, the little holes in the gloves. So we're going to click on the gloves and send them to the back. Now we can see I'm going to fill these in with color because I want to see if there's an extra one there. There is not, so we can undo. Same thing with this one. Let's fill it in with color, move it out of the way. There is an extra one here. So we're just going to hold down Shift, click on this top layer and delete it. And then I'm going to see if there's an extra one here by filling it in with color, moving that out of the way. There is, so we're going to undo. I use the keyboard shortcut Control-Z, but you can just hit undo here at the top. Hold down Shift, click. Oops, let's zoom in. So we're going to hold down Shift, click, 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 and click, and then delete. So you see we still have those little accent pieces. And let's see. Okay, that's just an outline. We're going to click here, 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 the glove, here, 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 and the glove. And then go modify. Well, let's not go subtract. We're going to right click and make it a compound path. There we go. Looking at this, the outline of it isn't exact. So I'm going to click on the, it's supposed to be like a small offset. So I'm going to click on the green. What I have is green gloves now. And I'm going to go to offset. I'm going to put a really small one. So maybe like 0.025. 0.01. That works for me. I'm going to hit apply, fill it with color, bring it to the front, group it, hold down Shift, select the top half, select the bottom half, go over to modify and subtract all. Click anywhere on your screen to deselect everything. Click on the gloves and delete. So you'll see that now it's an even outline around it. Same thing with the bow. If you want it to have an outline around it, you would have to do an offset and then subtract it. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm going to fill my bow in with red. Click on the parts that should be black. Make those black. Oops, wrong color. There we go. And you can group it together since it's all black if you would like. And then the gloves, we're going to make this white. So now I have this set up to where I can cut everything out and then layer it on top. If you were going to layer this, I would recommend clicking on all of the parts that are red, which I should have grouped together. Yes, I did. And I like to just make it separate. So once you size everything up, you'll do this after you have sized it up. I'm just going to duplicate it. So that's a cut, or you can move them closer together, cut them, split them, and then put them individually with the way they were before. You just put the whole thing down. So for the white, duplicate, and that one will be ready to cut. And then the yellow, duplicate. And then we'll select all of the black, everything. I'm going to hold down Shift, click on red, click on white, click on yellow, and then click on the red bows. I should only have the black selected now. We're going to first group that together and send it to the back. Now I can right click and duplicate. Ooh, I left a piece of shoe there, but that's fine. We're going to ungroup. And I held down Shift, clicked on the shoe, group everything else back together, then delete the shoe. So now this is the black cut, this is the red, this is the white, this is, oh, we don't have the rest of the yellow. So let's go over here, ungroup, hold down Shift, click on the bottom of the shoe, group the black, send it to the back, click off. Click on the shoe, hold down Shift, click on this bottom half of this shoe, group it together, right click and duplicate. I'm going to delete this. So now these are all ready to cut. Make sure that you size it up before you cut. If you're going to do this for multiple size shirts, you want to make a duplicate of the entire thing, then size it up to whatever size you want it to be. If you have the original in place, you don't have to make duplicates. Once you resize it, you're able to just click on your areas and just separate them. Okay? And that way you don't have to have a bunch of these, like the original one together and then the separated one. But that part is up to you in how you set it up. But hopefully this video really gave you a better understanding of DXF files and SVGs. And it may even help you like, okay, that's a lot of work to transfer a DXF file. It will just be easier for me to use Shakia link, upgrade to designer edition, at least designer edition, so you can open up SVG files. Business edition, as of right now, which today is 7/11. So it's July 11th, 2021. So I know as of today on the Swing Design site, which is what my link leads to, it is $60 compared to the $99 if you were to go straight through Silhouette America's website. So it is a great value, it's a good deal. I recommend that everyone, even if you do not have a business, even if you're just starting, to get Business Edition, because there are so many tools and features that will help you as you are learning the program and make it a little bit easier to navigate. But again, hopefully this was helpful for you. If it was, please be so kind to give this video a thumbs up, hit that share button and copy the link and share it with someone, or just share this video to your Facebook platforms or in a group. If you are not subscribed, hopefully you have decided to go ahead and to subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you are subscribed and make sure that the subscribe button is grayed out and it is no longer red. Hit the bell so that you are notified whenever I release new content. All right, guys, until next time, continue to unlock your creativity. Have a great one. Peace.